are these people?
What's up, everybody? It's INN News with me, Reef Breland, and my co-host Collin Radix-Carter, aka Care Bear. How are you, Care Bear?
In pain.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Lift with leg. Lift with leg, not back.
No,
We old.
I didn't. No, you know what? I think I pulled my back from lifting children.
Probably. Yes.
And
We lift with leg.
and fine, but when I got the pinch, I wasn't
You were
with a
doing
child.
nothing
I was
like at
doing
all.
nothing, and then I bent over like at a table to get something, and then I felt a sharp pain up my side to the point where like I nearly fell. Like like I nearly collapsed. So
Unfortunate.
So yeah, so I'm all right. I think I just need to obviously just be careful, and yeah, obviously I'm gonna be walking like an old man for hopefully not too long, but I'm all right. But
okay.
You have a story.
I do have a story. So I don't know if you've been paying attention to the Twitter files that are kind of still happening. But
It's getting a lot. It's getting overwhelming, though, I will admit. So
yeah, there's a lot going on there. Thankfully, Taibbi's going through a lot of it, but yeah, there's some Russian bot stuff to get into, specifically with Hamilton 69. I mean 68. Damn it, I'm gonna do that a lot. Because why was it not called 69? Like, get it together, guys.
not everyone is a 12-year-old boy like you. Right?
Well, hey, I am at least 13. All right? I'm at least 13. Anyway, so I brought this from the New York Post, right? John Levine. But yeah, left-wing think tank responsible for thousands of fake Russia stories. So yeah, this is one of the main like culprits of the Russiagate stuff afterwards. But so a left-wing think tank erroneously claiming to track Russian online activity. I have a problem with the Post calling this a left-wing think tank, for one. We'll get into why. But erroneously claiming to track Russian online activity was responsible for thousands of bogus stories asserting the nation's influence in U.S. politics, according to the latest batch of Twitter files. The Hamilton 68 dashboard was the brainchild of former FBI special agent and MSNBC contributor. Don't you love that fucking dual title? Clint Watts, and operated under the Alliance for Securing Democracy, a think tank founded in 2017, shortly after former Trump took office. So the ASD Advisory Council includes such figures as top Clinton ally John Podesta, Obama-era acting CIA director Michael Morell, former U.S. ambassador to Russia Micah McFaul, and former conservative activist Bill Kristol. So that's our little axis of evil here. We've ran into McFaul a few times, especially INN member Tara Reid. He's had a few run-ins with him. So here's a little video by Taibbi.
You and your team, you guys created a website, Hamilton 68.
Yes, my colleagues and I, we tracked Russian accounts.
What? Why did it
you and your team, you guys created a website, Hamilton 68.
Yes, my colleagues and I, we tracked Russian accounts.
That's some bullshit.
So there, literally right now, there are Russian bots, according to your website, that are putting this out into the world. Is that correct?
That's bullshit.
So, little video by Taibbi. Just kind of making fun of this guy.
You and your team.
But anyway, that was Clint Waltz, right? Was his name?
Yeah.
I think the latest Twitter files disclosure, the 15th so far, revealed how Hamilton 68's Russian bot dashboard repeatedly insisted there was widespread and deep Russian penetration of social media, and unveiled that Twitter executives frequently challenge those claims internally. I think we need to just call this out on the bullshit. Twitter's then head of trust and safety, Yoel Roth, wrote in an October 2017 email, Hamilton dashboard finally accuses a bunch of legitimate, falsely accuses a bunch of legitimate right-leaning accounts of being Russian bots, he added in 2018. Emails in the disclosure show that Twitter's own internal audits repeatedly showed that accounts flagged by Hamilton 68 were not Russian bots. So, you know these peeps. They're over at the Gray Zone. They do some stuff.
Welcome.
So hold on, let me go here. What do you think so far? You heard about this at all?
No, but I mean, considering just the bots on Twitter, it makes a whole lot of sense.
You're like not surprised.
Not surprised at all.
Okay. Let me go here.
Yeah, but it's funny how mainstream media calls us and then like any misinformation to be a bot or Russian bot, and yet they're the ones who are kind of implementing them.
Yep.
So
I had to get back to the thing. But yeah, I mean, I think Taibbi and Grayson have both covered Hamilton 68 exclusively, so go look at their stuff on it as well. They went real in depth, but I have Matt
Welcome to the Gray Zone.
And Aaronjmate here to give us a little more insight. You ready for that?
sure.
Okay. Can I get this to work? There we go.
You're just joining. I'm here with Aaronjmate, my colleague at the Gray Zone, and we've been discussing the proxy war in Ukraine, but the background noise to that war was the Russiagate hoax and the hysteria that was ginned up, manufactured by intelligence-related outfits like the Alliance for Securing Democracy and its Hamilton 68 dashboard of Russian bots. The hysteria over Russian bots and trolls infiltrating U.S. media and basically hacking the brains of Americans to make them even participate in destabilizing protests. So Matt Taibbi, our friend over at Substack, independent journalist, has obtained files at Twitter HQ which demonstrate that Twitter executives knew that the Hamilton 68 dashboard that they were being told to obey as a guide for censorship was a complete fraud, that they chose to say nothing and didn't blow this scandal up. And that, yes, the Alliance for Securing Democracy was lying to the American public to gin up Russiagate. So here's Matt Taibbi's thread. Aaron, any comments before we play his video?
Well, just like the theme of Matt's reporting on the Twitter files so far is just the intense pressure that Twitter came under from Russiagate fraudsters to validate their scam. So when Twitter looked for Russian bots, they came up empty. They found nothing. And so there was just this huge deluge of pressure from people at the FBI, from prominent Democrats like Mark Warner and Adam Schiff on Twitter to come up with something that could make Russiagate look credible. And this Hamilton 68 dashboard, which supposedly tracked all these Russian bots, is another example of that.
Well, here's a little video Matt made, I presume, with MattORF at Racket, which is the name of his new Substack site.
You and your team, you guys created a website, Hamilton 68.
Yes, my colleagues and I, we tracked Russian accounts.
That's some bullshit.
So they're literally right now, there are Russian bots, according to your website, that are putting this out into the world. Is that correct? You and your team, you guys created a website.
So yeah, it's BS. And if you look at the second tweet, this is Yoel Roth, who was the sort of Twitter's director of moderation, saying, I think we need to just call this out as the BS it is.
Even Yoel Roth called bullshit on this, which is hilarious because Yoel Roth is the Twitter executive who recommended that Twitter suppress reporting on the Hunter Biden laptop after some former U.S. officials said that it could be part of a Russian plot. So Yoel Roth, who's a documented dupe, was still able to see through the BS that was the Hamilton 68 scam. So that's pretty damning for Clint Watts, because even a dupe like Yoel Roth could see through it.
Yeah, I mean, Yoel Roth, he's part of the regime. He believed in using Twitter as a vehicle to advance the political aspirations of the Democratic Party. That's pretty clear. And here he believes at least in some semblance of truth, and that this was just an attempt by this hysterical Russiagate figures who were part of the board of the Alliance for Securing Democracy, like Michael McFaul, like Bill Kristol. I think Michael Morell was on the board, former deputy CIA director.
And Max, just remind us again, so what was going on? So I remember at the time this was a big deal. So I remember there was all these stories in the New York Times, the Washington Post saying the Alliance for Security and Democracy, this dashboard, has kept track of all these Russian bots and they're littering social media. And this was used to justify, crackdowns and or censorship and moderating content. But like, what was the impact of this at the time? Because I remember you did a big piece on this. And
I think I was the first journalist to call out Clint Watts as a complete fraud. I did a series on him and all the other people that he was working with at the Alliance for Securing Democracy. I saw the writing on the wall, and I saw that this was part of a wider attempt to influence the American public to support a war with Russia, to believe that Russia was infiltrating the social media platforms that function as their digital commons, and that any story they saw that criticized the establishment could be portrayed as Russian influence, which was what they proceeded to do at Hamilton 68 with this dashboard.
Right.
So they said all along Hamilton 68 that they had a list of 500 Russian bots, that they provided it to Twitter and told Twitter, you have to take these all down. And they were telling the public that there were these bots. And I would always say, produce the list, show us the list.
Yeah.
Where's the list? Prove it. And you'll see in Matt Taibbi's thread, Twitter executives like Yoel Roth were saying, this list is basically a bunch of conservative accounts mixed in with like the Russian foreign ministry. There are no Russian bots here. It's all a lie. We need to call it out. And who tells him not to call it out? It's Emily Horn, the director of communications at Twitter, who was former Obama NSC and went on to work in the Biden administration, and someone who would go on to work for Pete Buttigieg's campaign, who's a Twitter executive, who said, well, there are long-term issues here, even though we acknowledge it's false. And what are the long-term issues? We need to help the Democrats win. And this is part of their formula is Trump, Russia, Trump, Russia.
And one name that appears in this list of Russian bots is Joe Loria, who's the editor-in-chief of Consortium News. Great site founded by the legendary reporter Robert Perry.
Here.
And he is named, according to Clint Watts and his dashboard, as a Russian bot.
I mean, this is pure McCarthyism. It is a literal blacklist for the digital era. It's disgusting. That's what I called them, McCarthyism Incorporated, in one of the headlines of a piece I did about them back in 2018. And Aaron, we have the list. We finally have the list.
Yep.
What say you, Care Bear?
I mean, again, not surprising, considering he that one that tough protests too much is often the one that is causing the problem.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's just the idea of, as I said, how, Democrats were just calling out Russia, 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 and yet it's them who are essentially kind of sharing or using this misinformation to, their advantage. I think obviously to undermine Trump, and since, to undermine anyone who is clearly anti-establishment. So not surprising at any of this at all. I think it's just good that this is more or less confirmed in terms of what people have been thinking, but haven't necessarily been able to prove it until now.
Right. Hold on. I have to fix webcam, which decided to freeze for some reason. Nice of it to do that. Like, it's fine for weeks, and then suddenly it just decides I don't need to work right now. Why won't it let me fix? Let's try again. Hello? Webcam?
No, it didn't work.
Why not? I'm so confused. Anyway, there's not much left. But we have a friend of the show, MattORF, right? If it'll let me click the things I need to, Jesus Christ. So, Orf here, PolitiFact and Snopes each cited Hamilton 68 in multiple articles, hashtag Hamilton 68 scam. Here it is in PolitiFact. I wanted to showcase the titles on these, right? How Russian trolls exploited Parkland mass shooting on social media. Fake news and bots target author of Democratic memo. Keep in mind, look at the names here. We got fucking Bethania Palma, right? John Cruzel. Again, Palma, Nunez, memo, drops and flops, compiled by Republican congressmen. Here they are citing that Hamilton thing again. Russia's social media efforts in 2016 were not just false, but inflammatory. Again, Cruzel. But yeah, that's it. That's all of it so far. Yeah. Terrible. But not surprising.
Not surprising. So, yeah.
But anyway, anything else you want to add?
Not
Before
to
we get out of
this.
here?
I mean, as I said, it's good to have our kind of being redeemed in terms of what we've, I think, not necessarily us, I think maybe privately, kind of saying it among ourselves, but having this out properly that actually there are. So it's too bad that, of course, mainstream media is not going to report on this. So.
No. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? But yeah, sorry for my webcam not working. That's unfortunate.
That's fine.
But anyway, hopefully that helps. You lost that camera. Got it.
Yeah.
Can I get it back? There's that. Okay. Whatever. But anyway, as always, kids, labels are bad. Stay independent. Good night, fam.
Good night.